Lee,
Yes, ma'am.
we have some questions going on in the chat here, and I figure we'll clear it up right now.
Okay.
When you're talking about the $27 trillion being yours, you mean what was mandated to you to work with from the U.S. government, right?
No, we don't have a U.S. government. We don't even have a federal government.
Okay.
We don't even have a constitution.
Well, that's true. Not no more.
I made that money through my authority of President Reagan and my mandate. That's the profit that we made from the financial instruments, a lot of currency exchanges. I was never an employee of Uncle Sam because then I could be killed as a spy at the Kremlin. That money, and we have the Reagan-Mitterrand protocols, which is over $70 billion, which President Reagan and President Mitterrand of France wanted me to disperse from my money. I had a $5 trillion contract from the United Nations, contract number 4, which gives me the clear access to a number, large volume, top 10 creditworthy banks. The government had no right to get involved because the banks control the government. The government cannot make any money because we don't have a government. It's controlled by the lobbyists, the bankers, the special interests around the world, the cabal, you name it. They don't care about you and I as citizens. They never did, never will. You will just
Lee,
pay your dues. Yes.
Lee, just wanted to let them know because that you were given $150 billion as working capital.
As working capital that I paid for, and I took a loan for $150 billion, and I had to fight like hell to pay it back because they didn't want it back. Because therefore they could have laid claim or had me killed and say, well, this is all our money. And it's not the government that would have kept that money. It would be the private investors, the banks, the shysters, and God knows what else were involved in the puppet masters that control the New World Order. The New World Order is not our friend.
You paid it back within 6 months.
6 months.
Okay. All right.
And they cried like a baby that was trying to give it back to them. I wanted it off my books.
Yeah, Lon, can you see the chat room?
Yeah. Yeah.
So could you keep track of those statements when they come out, and we just deal with them right away when they come out? Obviously, these are people that would like to discredit Lee, and I'm not going to let that happen. So.
No, me neither.
Well, that money belongs to me.
Well,
not to the government.
I just say one thing. I've spent 2 years, reading Lee's material, and of course visiting with him and interviewing him. Spent a lot of time. I'm a documentarian, and I produced documentaries on a lot of different other types of subjects, not just this. I've produced one on the Vietnam War on fighter pilots a while back. But what I wanted to say is that there's a lot of people out there that have agendas to discredit him, and so they do. Sometimes people are planted, and they've written things about him. They've placed articles in newspapers. There's been all kinds of, and so my challenge is to anybody that's listening today is why don't you get a hold of the biography? It's only $12.95. Download it off of Amazon, and read it for yourself. It's the book is 500 pages, and it's got tons of documents that back up every single thing that part of Lee's experience and his story. So you can read some of the legal documents. That's why we've made it available so that everybody, and of course the links work on the Amazon version. But if you buy the paperback version, you get a disc that has all those available. But until you've looked at that stuff, I would be very cautious of criticizing Lee, because you don't know where the source came from your information, and I guarantee you there's a lot of misinformation out there. A lot. I've seen it.
Well, I understand their question. We're just little poor people out here. We can't get, where does all that money come from? It had to originate somewhere, and now you're saying the UN.
Well, that's transactions.
And part of what we're explaining, part of the documentary, is that we're going to be explaining that in detail, as far as the different ways that he did. Now, some of the things that Lee knows how he did it, those tactics are being used against us. It's related to currency, and Lee can tell you more about it. But the way that the currency works between